Flight Boss, bitch. You know, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind of the Terry's Moon. Flight Boss, the Archangel Uriel. And I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, I want to talk about secret societies. Because right now, we're going to get even deeper than the motherfucking secret societies thought they was even getting. Now, for the most part, let's break down secret societies. Now, what are secret societies actually doing? First of all, this is what you need to understand. If you know about them, they're not actually secret. It's not actually a secret if you know about it. You see what I'm saying? So it's not even actually a secret. So when you look at secret society, a society, we all know what a society is. A grouping or a mass large amount of people, you know what I'm saying, correlating or holding on to certain similar concepts or similar ideas. We know sacred is anything occult-like. Now, don't get scared of the word occult. Occult just means doing things behind closed doors. So think about all the things you do behind closed doors. You think, you sleep, you wash your ass, you have sex. You do a lot of things behind closed doors. All those are occult-like rituals. Everything is a ritual. Now, when we get into spelling, spelling is just us being able to put letters together, and we call it spelling. So it spells. Now we know letters. When you look at letters and signs and sigils, these are just snapshots. Call it a snapshot of what an energy is doing or a spirit is doing. How a spirit is moving or how an energy is moving. When we snapshot that energy, we give it a letter or a sign or sigil, and that gives us representation on how that energy is rotating or how that spirit is moving. Now, I'm not calling spirit an energy. Energy is a shape or form that a spirit can intake as a to experience that realm of reality. But energy is like the energy realm, from non-physical to physical. So it might be one of the lightest bodies that you can't perceive in your realm of reality based upon your density. So I will call that energy, but still a spirit is taking it. You see what I'm saying? Now, when we want to talk about secret societies and what are they actually doing? Now, when you look at the name of it, they're not actually sacred no more. So what's actually being sacred, right, is what they're actually doing. So that's what's actually being sacred, what they're actually doing. But here where they fall short at. The moment they give it a word, a sign, or a sigil, right, the word that they give it tells what they're actually doing. So when you got shit like Skull and Bones, when you got shit like Freemasons, right? So when they call it a secret society, right, you don't know what they're actually doing, but whatever they're doing, I'm pretty sure they're doing the energy signature of what they call themselves. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, everything has an undertone or a spiritual backing to it. So once you just understand the energy signature of the spelling or the spell or the word that they gave whatever they're trying to do, then you're going to know what they're doing anyway. You see what I'm saying? And I'm going to tell you right now, when we talk about secret societies, these are just a bunch of motherfuckers who are getting ready to reach the egg, and they are aware that that's what they are doing. They know that that's what they are doing. And, you know, to become an elite or to become anybody that has a source of power, this is how you do that. Now, they're planning out the so don't get mad at governments and the elite and things of that nature. Don't be a spiritual hater. What they're doing is laying out maps and laying out platforms and laying out examples on how to reach the motherfucking egg. So for the most part, how do you even reach the egg? And this is what the secret societies are actually doing. Now, secret societies are shaping your reality. That's what they're doing. They're shaping your reality. And we're going to break that down a little further. But secret societies are shaping your reality. So this is the ability for them to reach the egg. Now, how do you reach the egg? You have to become a source. So when you become a source, that means whatever you created has a lot of attention to it. And it has a great mass to it to become a great light. And it become a source. So for the most part, when you become a source, you could become that thing that create the resource for others. So you could become others' resources when you become a source. So the source can go through many different ways. You could become a source of language, to the point that everybody have to use your language, all the way to the smallest degree. You could become the source of some form of deodorant, to the point that you created some deodorant that everybody goes to that deodorant and everybody pays attention to that deodorant. Quote unquote speed stick or whatever the deodorant it is. You know what I'm saying? So you get what I'm saying? Once you become a source, you become the resource for others. And once you become that source, you are able to reach the egg, because once your spirit pass on this physical form, it then develops so much of an impact that your spirit, which is the conscious or the ideas that you then pushed out through this shaping form, once this die on, your spirit is still remembered, and people are still playing on through your concepts and your ideas. So that enables you to reach the egg and be able to develop yourself in a larger life, but be able to still remember or have some form of influence on this life. And once you know what that's doing, you awaken another body, still having the mind or the tethering cord to this body, and you're that much more powerful, to the point that you could become a mass rotation in this location we are in right now, which is nothing more than what Jupiter then did, Saturn then did, and things of that nature. And we're giving it the same way. For an example, you got George Bush right now. If George Bush keep on doing what he's doing along his family bloodline and things of that nature, then I'm pretty sure one of these planets, 2 or 4,000 years from now, one of these planets is going to be called Bush. It ain't going to be called Mars. It's going to be called Bush or something like that. Then you're going to be able to read back like, nah, they really used to call it Helios, or nah, they really used to call it Jesus, or nah, they really used to call it this. And it's just the same thing over and over again, where I'm telling you right now, it's Archangel Uriel is just another spirit and taking that vessel at the moment in time. See what I'm saying? Now, for the most part, they are shaping your reality. So when they shape your reality, that enables them to become a source. So a lot of times, this is how men become into power, because men become a source. So for the most part, you need a land to live on. So you have certain particular men who come up with a plan to take over a certain amount of land. So if they rule that land, everybody who want to live on that land has to pay the cost of that land. So the people who run that land becomes the source, and the people who live on that land is the resources. You see what I'm saying? So you see how the bargain and gain system start to apply? You know what I'm saying? Now, when you could take that a step further, we got that with language. We got that with religion. We even got that to how you even look at life. Now, when we get to each secret society, each separate secret society is shaping this reality in a different way. And I'm going to break a few of them down. Excuse me. And the highest one is the Illuminati. You know what I'm saying? So they think they secret, but once you just understand what the word that they title themselves is, you understand what they actually doing. So you know it's not even that sacred. And what you need to do is need to play them at their own game and beat them at their own motherfucking game. Because you got the power to create your imagination, and you need to quit planting seeds in their farm and quit adding on to their imagination to the point that they just reaching eggs, and it's a whole big system of motherfuckers taking turns to reach eggs. Even to the point that the motherfucking universe we created and the realms that we keep creating for ourselves, the bodies we creating to come into realms of realities only could take 1 or 2 or 3 bodies at a time. You know what I'm saying? We creating that. We could create some other shit where the women or the wombs create just as many fucking babies as a motherfucking kitten or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But y'all ain't get to that level yet. Y'all still stuck in certain realms of realities. Now let's break down a few of these. Like I said, the highest is Illuminati. So Illuminati is just being illuminated. What is being illuminated, right? Understanding light. And what is light in this reality? They correlate it with life. They correlate it with you know what I'm saying, the AM, the I am. You know what I'm saying? So anything correlated with the light or being illuminated, is Illuminati like, or being illuminated. So when you understand enlightenment, right? They saying it's to get enlightened. So when you lighten up your room, right? You just say lighten. You don't say I'm about to enlighten my room. You say you about to lighten your room. So think about the words that you're saying. So when they title themselves saying they're the Illuminati, they're the enlightened ones. In light. So they're talking about the light within. So when you get enlightened within, that's like putting your flashlight in a yang realm and reversing it and pointing it inside you. Realizing, using your third eye. So for the most part, like I said, say you in a situation and you get manipulated or you getting lied to, right? Now, if you are a person who's not enlightened, you might not be consciously aware that you're getting lied to. But if you are enlightened, you can see what's going on from the behind the scenes realm, from an internal realm. So you will realize, which is your real eye, and you will realize what's actually going on. And you will understand that is real lies going on with this actual person. You see what I'm saying? So that's being enlightened. Now these people, when they talk about the Illuminati, they are enlightened on many different levels. They are enlightened about the religion. They are enlightened about business. They are enlightened about structure. But part of the reason to that is because the family lineage is part of the ones who created and shaped this reality on how you see that in the first place. So they are enlightened about what this shit is actually doing. So everybody who was up under that religion or up under that other shit are not enlightened. They're just lightened up from it. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? So the people who created it, or the people who put it out here for people to get lightened from it, the enlightened ones are receiving the source for it. So they are able to pass on, while people down here are still carrying out the duties and obligations of their system. So they family lineage will always have a spot and position here. Now, when you think about things like Freemasons, that's nothing more, nothing less but the freedom to build. Now, like I said, this building go on many different aspects. It can go metaphysically, and we know metaphysically in the yin realm, the shapeless formless realm is what creates the shape and form yang realm. Due to time and experience, and adding on to it, and once it get paid attention to and become a source, it can be willed into this dimension. So this is what Freemasons do. They got free to build. So like I said, it go on many different levels. So these are the builders of your religion. These are the builders of your structures, your systems. So a lot of Freemasons may worship Saturn because they understand. Now, this is what you need to understand about secret societies also. Now, to become a source, a lot of times these secret societies think that they got the ideas to come up with how to get a source, how to take over land, or how to plant a farm, or how to build this, that, and the third. They think that they came up with these concepts from the celestial bodies, right? Which they are right. They got these ideas from the celestial bodies. So they pay attention to certain alignments and certain celestial bodies so they can know what energies to worship, so they can keep channeling and keep receiving these same energies. For an example, Saturn. Saturn gives off a certain energy, structure, balance, practicality, status, right? So the more you step into that energy, you channel Saturn. Now, based upon your own planetary alignment and your own spirit, the better you know how to show status, the better, or popularity, or the better you know how to show nurturing or growth or practicality or structure or time or patience or something, the better you know how to do that, whether you give it like to the purest degree of it. I mean, you gotta not give a fuck about no people, places, or thing. You know how you have some people who may try to take your time, some people who try to give you ideas about how you should structure your life. No, you have to show this ability from the truest nature. And you even have to wear things that play out as the rotation of it. So the rotation of Saturn may play out in certain signs and symbols, and these certain signs and symbols is jewelry that you can wear and things of that nature, and so you can carry this in it, so that can remind you to always stay in that state, in that spiritual state. And the more the better you know how to align yourself with structure, regardless of the reality that you are in. Whatever you have to kill somebody, or whatever you got to do something, whatever you got to cut off a business, just to pay attention and channel this energy. The more Saturn gonna give you benefits. This is how they looking at it. The more Saturn give you access to that energy, and you can take that energy and create the shape and form and put it on this earth to the best of your ability. So these secret society is thinking that they're receiving their concepts and ideas to be a source from these celestial bodies. So once they understood that concept and paid attention to certain celestial bodies and alignments and things of that nature, then they start to, this is when you get the worship concept in. And deifying these entities and creating ceremonies and rituals and things. So when you look at Freemasons, this is this freedom to build. Now when I say free to build, see, this is what I mean by this. You just can't walk your monkey ass up and go create a religion and think everybody gonna follow it. And even if your ass do got a bright ass vibrational spirit that you end up obtaining followers, your shit ain't gonna be done, your shit ain't gonna be signed and sealed legally. So eventually, if your source become too big and you ain't doing nothing legally with it, then for the most part it's gonna get ran down on by the Freemasons, and then they utilize the government and certain things of that nature, because you're not allowed to do that, because you didn't go through no type of Freemasonry system. You didn't get this degree, you didn't go to the third degree, you didn't get enlightened, so you're not authorized to be creating no religion and to be building on it. You see what I'm saying? Now, until your shit go through the law and system, now they're going to have to verify what the fuck is you actually teaching religiously. And if it don't match the actual system that's already built, a quote unquote what the Freemasons have built, then your ass going to get shut down anyway. So if you even was to try to come up with a religion and try to do it legally, they're gonna make you sign some papers to tell you what you can motherfucking preach and what you can't preach. So motherfucker, like I said, if you can't, it's they have freedom to build. So what I mean by freedom to build is, if you are a Freemason, you are allowed to come up and add on to certain theologies and add on to certain religions and stuff like that, and it be verified, it be stamped. So like when you look at, for an example, when you look at the Bible and it says it been copywritten by King James or whoever the copywriter is, and then it's King James or this, that, and the third. That should let you know that King James was a Freemason. See what I'm saying? Because he had authority. He was authorized and allowed to verify a scripture or verify a certain idea or aspect. Therefore, they could be getting anybody off the street who got an idea about a certain religious text, and they can add on to it without no problems. See, it don't work like that, because Freemasons built with structure, and they built and built on hierarchy and things of that nature. So once you just understand the actual words, you understand everything that they actually doing. So when you look at anything that's even dealing with the law and government, that's Freemasonry. Now, skull and bones. When you look at skull and bones, look at the representation of skull and bones. Skull and bones represents death, but not only death, it represents male sperm worship. Now this is male and sperm worship, because all the gray white attributes in your bodies is correlated to the sperm. Now we know the sperm or the sperm cell hardens up when it goes into the womb. So it hardens up like a tree. So we know they like to be the backbone of things. You know what I'm saying? The skull and bones, they're the backbone of things. So your eyeball, but is the fluid of it, but for the most part your skull and your spinal cord and your bone structure, bone marrow and everything come from the spinal fluid, which is the sperm cell. And the spermatoid, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? And then for the most part, once it get into the womb, it has a place where it can sit and harden up like a tree. And then off the branches of your skull and bones and spinal cord, off the branches hang the things that come from the egg cell, which is all the blood shit, which is your organs, your heart, your brain, and shit like that. And it hangs off the sperm cell, quote unquote, which turns into the skull and the spinal cord. The organs and the blood from the egg cell hangs off of it like a tree. You know what I'm saying? Then it builds layers around itself, it wraps itself in, and then develops, and then you come out as a being. Take your first breath, and then you receive the overall spirit of you to control all the many lesser spirits in you that's taking blood cells and do the process over again. But skull and bones understand this. So the skull and bones is they're more particular about the elders in certain families. And like, so you got, like, say for an example, you got like 13 royal families. So for the elders who have already stated their claim, who have already put the energy out in the world, who is already somebody, right? Once they're old, right? Then this is when they get more into when you get to the concept of skull and bones, because they're developing rituals and worshiping certain things in order to help obtain the consciousness. So when they die, they're able to come back in one of the royal families as a child again, being birthed again as a baby. So they're trying to recycle spirits into this same realm of reality again. So once you start, so say you've been an Illuminati, you've been a Freemason and things of that nature, you getting up some age. Say you ended up being a president or a queen, a king or something like that, and you getting up at some age. Then this is when they start to develop you into the skull and bones, which is death and male and sperm and the male sperm worship. So they're trying to create a way to die. Basically, they're trying to learn how to die effectively, and then they worship the male sperm. So it might be a lot of faggot shit that might go on in the skull and bone shit, things of that nature, because they're trying to preserve the sperm. So a lot of times it may be a lot of male on male sex, and then they make sperm in a jar and give to a woman, and it's like a lot of weird shit. Once you understand the words that's being used, you can understand how deep things really go. You see what I'm saying? So that's the skull and bones worship. They understand the concept, and they worship man. because they think man is the backbone of everything, and since the man is carrying the sperm, they preserve the sperm, but they make sure the sperm is correlated. When the sperm is being ejaculated out, they make sure it's correlated and packed with certain information and certain ideas, and how they impact it with information and ideas is by the stuff that's on their mind, the rituals that they're doing, and the sex and the sex intakes that they're doing, and all that is developing the information. And when they ejaculate or whatever they do, homosexual sex or whatever like that, the actual sperm has all that information within it. And then see, they do this with themselves, and then they create test tubes babies, or put it in other women and things of that nature. And then this is how they keep things in the same family also. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's weird. They go deep with the skull and bone shit. This is why you got so many bushes. And then once it start to lead off into the Clintons and things of that nature, it's really the same. It's still the same family lineage. Christianity. Yes, Christianity is a secret society. That's what you need to understand. And once you understand the words, you understand what it's actually doing. Christ, light. So it's in a form of, but when you understand what it's actually doing, this is to worship authority, or to give authority or power, or to respect power, or to be a respecter of source. So it doesn't matter who has the power or who has the source. You have to remain respectable towards it. You have to respect it, and you have to bow down to it. So it doesn't matter who has the source. You have to, so that's the energy that Christianity is carrying. You see what I'm saying? So the form of the secret society of Christianity is building that reality for you. It's shaping that reality for you. See what I'm saying? You see how Skull and Bones is shaping how you die reality for you. You see how Freemasons is shaping how you see religion and how you see structure and government. You see how the Illuminati is structuring how you see consciousness and how you see this reality as a whole. Because that's the top one. So all of these is kind of filtered through it. You got the Rosicrucians. Rosicrucians. That ain't nothing but sun worship. You know what I'm saying? That ain't nothing but sun worship. And the Rosicrucians go even deep with they sun worship, because they don't even look at it the way you look at it. They look at things like they like to, it's about heat, it's about fire. And since the sun brings heat, light, and fire, this is what they're actually worshiping. But they're not worshiping it in the way that you thinking. They worship it in a way that they look at the sun as a form of crucifying. So they deified this. They deified it, right? So they used to, you know how when you got the science of killing goats and put it on your altar as a ritual to give to the gods or something like that, the Rosicrucians, this was sun worship in a way of, if you went against the law, this is how you get crucified. So they'd kill you in the sun. So it's almost like they came up with ways of how the sun could kill you. But then they start to figure out that that took too long, so they start to kill you in the sun, and it's almost like an offering to the sun. Like it's an offering to the fire, or offering to the light, to crucify someone. And the more people that they kill in the sun, it's like they giving that spirit to the sun, and they supposed to get something back from that. See, people don't know that though. That's the deep Rosicrucian knowledge right there. So even when you go back to the Roman days, and how they killed Jesus and things of that nature, they was going with this system. It might have been just later, but for the most part, they was going with this system. And what they was actually doing is letting the sun crucify Jesus. So they was giving Jesus to the sun as a form of a ritual, or as a form of something, right? And it's like I don't know whatever they was thinking, how they was thinking, but it was a form of crucifixion. And then there's an offering to the sun. And they deified the sun. So it was like, if they give the sun this amount of spirits, the energy the sun give them back, they're able to take that and create a shape and form, or a society, or gain a prosperities or something like shit. So that's what it really was. Even when what was on their mind in the Roman days. They was giving Jesus to the Son, and they was letting the Son crucify his ass. So they was looking at it like this. This is how they was looking at it. They looked at the Grand Cardinal Cross. They know that taught them structure and pattern. So since Jesus was coming pushing separate energy and try to break down this structure and break off pattern, they was going to let the Son and the Son going through the cross, the crucifix constellation, they was going to let the Son deal with Jesus. They was going to let the Son crucify him for trying to disrupt structure. So they got the cross, hung his motherfucking ass on the cross, and let the motherfucking Son crucify. So y'all think Jesus was just on a cross and then he died, and then that was what was on their mind. No, they was real spiritual back in the days. This was what was on their mind. On their mind was hang his ass in front of the Son and let the Son deal with his ass. So the Son crucified Jesus. You see what I'm saying? They hung his ass on the cross and let the Son crucify him the way the Son died and go up 3 fucking days on the cross. So it was a representation down here as above, so below. But they was real in tune with it, because they looked at it like, okay, since it's going through this and we see the backdrop constellation going like this, and we're able to create northeast, southwest, this creating structure. This was how they was creating their law. See, law, how y'all look at it today, started as a spiritual thing. So law is still spiritual. That's why when you go into the law and go into court, you still have to get up and put your right hand on the heart and hear the fucking word, in God we trust, and shit like that in front of a fucking judge. Oh, this shit is ritual ceremony. I don't care how lost y'all is today. This shit is still the same shit. Y'all just looking at it differently. So back then when they hung Jesus on the cross, they gave his ass to the Son and let the Son deal with his ass. And the Son crucified his ass for going against motherfucking structure, because the Son is overall structure. See what I'm saying? So it's deep the way it's deep the way you got it, how you look at it. But a lot of even Christians today, y'all worshiping Rosicrucian type nature, but y'all taking the side of the person who was crucified. But y'all worshiping the system that got him crucified. It don't make no sense. But for the most part, that's what the secret societies is doing. They are shaping your reality, and how they shape, and by them shaping your reality, they are becoming sources for your resources. So you have to go to them to obtain whatever you see in this reality, and then they are able to reach the egg. And then you are just looking at them as examples, and you are having to take turns. When really you could become your own source and mass and reach the egg in your own motherfucking way. See what I'm saying? Stop giving these motherfuckers power. Flight bots, bitch. Goddamn air.